Guys, this is pathetic. Right now, Russia tries to persuade the American delegation that they are prepared for a ceasefire in the Black Sea only if the United States lift the sanctions from Russia, forgetting one very important aspect. We have already destroyed the Russian Black Sea fleet. And obviously, we do not need their participation in the grain deal, all because by the efforts of the Ukrainian marine drones, of the Ukrainian marine missiles, we have cleaned the aquatorium of the Black Sea, and all this year, various vessels were able to travel and deliver Ukrainian grain where necessary. We have upgraded the majority of the Russian Black Sea fleet to the scrap metal on the bottom of the Black Sea. We have destroyed their headquarters in Sevastopol, neutralizing the admiral of that fleet. And now, after Russia escaped to Novorossiysk, a new port, a new headquarters of their navy in Russia, where it actually belongs, in this context, Russia says they are prepared for a ceasefire in the Black Sea, but only if sanctions are lifted. This is absurd. The same is about their idea of the ceasefire on the energy infrastructure objects, so that they can protect this way their oil refining objects because Russian air defense is not working, but they can keep destroying Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. This is bluff. This is gambling. This is the worst of, and I cannot name it politics or diplomacy. This is super lies. And we see that. My name is Anna. I'm from Ukraine. I'm in Ukraine. And if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, just as we did with their Black Sea fleet, subscribe. We discuss all of that on the channel. So the next part of the negotiations between the United States and Russia continued for 12 hours. It's quite obvious they did not succeed because there was no joint press conference. Every time Trump's plans fail, they cancel a press conference. This happened after his telephone call with Putin. There was literally nothing to talk about. And the same situation after this 12-hour talks in Saudi Arabia. Russians are trying to dictate what they want, not just from Ukraine, but also from the United States, faking their strengths, faking their invincibility. And I know that the majority of American people know the truth. They see that Russia is being defeated right now as you watch this video. We target their military objects. They cannot protect strategic for their military airfields. Their oil refining industry is paralyzed to a great extent. Russian economy is on the brink of the collapse. And without the support of the North Korea and China, they would have lost like 2 years ago. And now they want to trade the things that they have already lost as their goodwill during this process of negotiations. This is absurd, and please don't let them trick you. I am worried right now that the security and defense of many countries partially now depend on the people who share super secret military information in chats, accidentally adding journalists. Guys, everyone is laughing at this situation and watching how the head of the CIA, the head of the American intelligence pretend they don't understand what has happened. The problem is not that the journalist was added to that chat. The problem is that they had a chat like that in an ordinary messenger. So I'm sure Russia reads all of that, and Russia keeps pushing their fakes. They are prepared for a ceasefire in the Black Sea just because they totally do not control the Black Sea. They've lost the majority of their fleet and the leftovers escaped to Russia. That's why they agree on the ceasefire in the Black Sea. They don't control it anymore. Subscribe and share these videos, that's important. And the same about energy infrastructure objects. This is a problem for Russia. They want to defend their oil refining industry, but they cannot. Russians speak about that. They are prepared to, I don't know, protest. They want some private armies that are capable to perform the functions of the air defense, which is absurd and a clear demonstration that they have no trust in the regular Russian army. And it's so just like obvious. I think it's a great failure if you let Russia dictate from the position of the weakness. And right now, just have a look at that with like a real factual background. We have destroyed the Black Sea fleet. In the Black Sea, there is no Russian fleet there. They are not able to control it. And they promise a corridor. We have a very wide corridor. We made it with Ukrainian marine drones produced in Ukraine. And they want to guarantee something that we already have, but also lifting the sanctions for that. That's absurd. But I'm almost sure Trump will agree, because he fails desperately to persuade Putin to follow his plans, and he needs to pretend that everything is super duper successful. So they keep doing what Russia wants from them. And I have people who are super worried that Trump will become friends with Putin, they will be allies, and it will be very dangerous. But are you sure it's really good to have an ally like Trump? With all his failures, with all his bankruptcies, with all these chats where super secret information is shared. Think twice. And the same about energy infrastructure. We target the oil refining industry very successfully on a daily basis. There are a lot of facilities that cannot be repaired. With sanctions on them, there are literally no details that they need. A lot of countries do not want to buy Russian oil anymore. And they keep asking for the ceasefire because they need it. It is not the goodwill of Russia. It is not that super diplomacy or the greatest deal maker managed to persuade Russians to stop that. They have lost energy infrastructure inside Russia to a great extent, and they have lost the Black Sea. And that is why they agree on the potential ceasefire in their spheres. But they also want sanctions lifted and to keep target Ukrainian civilians. This is pathetic. And this is pathetic that some will try to describe it as success. No, they don't give Nobel Peace Prizes for such things. Thank you so much for your understanding and your support. Remember to share the videos if you share my opinion on your social media platforms, and subscribe if you're new. Also, you can find me on X, Blue Sky, Threads, Discord, and X. And the links are in the description of this video, same as a link to our merch shop, where we have a lot of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. Also, remember to subscribe to my new channel where I share more about Ukrainian civilian experience. I hope you won't need my advice, but the world is too turbulent, so it's better to be prepared. Thank you for your support, your understanding, for the demonstration of your goodwill and understanding. This means a lot to me personally and to all the Ukrainians. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!